what's up everybody? It's your boy Mike Rashid, and today is episode 5 of Boxing for Beginners. Today, I'm just gonna touch on a little bit of, go over some of the stuff that we already covered, the jab, hooking off the jab, also one of the most important combinations in my opinion, which is a basic jab and then a right cross, 1-2, 1-2. You know, oftentimes you see it, you guys that lift, people will try to get all fancy with their lifts and don't focus on the basics, but the basics is always the best. Also, we're gonna work on, like I said, distance. You never wanna be too close to your opponent. Your punch hurts more when it reaches its full extension, okay? So there's a term called fighting in the phone booth. You know, that's a style that some people do. Typically, the two guys are like head to head, real close, and they're not really looking, they're just throwing punches. I don't like that style of fighting. It is an effective style. It can be used. You should be able to do that as well as working your distance. But right now we're gonna work on, you know, what I feel like is fighting properly, and that's controlling your distance and firing at will, all right? So we're gonna get into it. Also, I got a whole bunch of friends who are professional boxers, and would y'all like for some of them to give y'all pointers too? You never know, maybe you'll see some world champions in one of the next few Boxing for Beginners episodes. I think you might, all right? All right, so let's get into it. All right, so one thing that is very important is your foundation and your fundamentals, all right? It's gotta be intact. And one of the things that is probably the most important part of the foundation is your footwork, all right? Is mobility, is you moving, being able to be fluid with your moves. So I want to send a big shout out to the shoes that I've been wearing for the past couple years while I'm training, whether it be lifting weights or boxing. But boxing, they're fucking great, is Riderwear. It's a dope ass brand. They're comfortable as hell. They're kind of stylish, you know what I'm saying? Not that that's what we're going for, but they do look really good. And like mobility, they're light and I'm able to move around so fast, you know what I mean? So shout out to Riderwear if y'all interested in some, links down below. All right, so let's get into this. So with footwork, mobility, you wanna be light on your toes, okay? So I talked about range, you know, you have to find your range, right? It's the gym, when you're practicing, when you're hitting the heavy bag or hitting pads with your coach, that's the best place, the best time to find out what your range is, how far you can be from your opponent to land shots, okay? You don't always wanna be in punching range because you wanna dictate the pace of the fight. So what you wanna do is step out of range and stay out of range until you're ready to engage, okay? So here, you know, I'm fairly out of range. Now, there's different punches that can be thrown to close the distance really fast, like a left hook, okay? But for the most part, this is fairly out of range, okay? So moving back and forth, you're always giving head movement, giving different looks. You don't want to just be a stationary target, okay? And when I'm ready to engage, I move in and I'm using my jab as a means to find range, to measure him, okay? So sometimes it's not a full punch. I'm not always snapping a punch out there. Sometimes I'm just, okay? You're just feeling them out. Boom. So you want to come in, assess the damage, move around, okay? So you jab your way in. Boom. Sometimes you'll see that a lot. You'll see fighters kind of put it up there just to see where he's at, you know? Stay on your toes, stay light on your feet. Different looks. Okay? Now, we're gonna talk about the 1-2. The 1-2 is a devastating combination. It doesn't seem all fancy and flashy, but when you see one landed properly, it's a beautiful thing. It's a sight for sore eyes, and also it's extremely effective, okay? So many fancy combinations, but the basics is the best. All right, so like I told you guys before, the 1 is a distraction. The 1 is to measure your opponent. The 1 is to annoy your person. The 1 is to get that guy used to seeing that left keep them away from you. And then, see, the 2 or your right cross, if you're a southpaw, it'll be a left cross, is a heart attack, it's a power punch, okay? Your 1-2 gotta be lightning fast. Now I'm gonna talk about timing. You don't have to be the fastest guy in the world or girl. You don't have to be the strongest to be the most effective, but your timing's gotta be impeccable. All right, now, the perfect way with the 1-2 is to not think of 1, 2. If you don't know how to throw punches, you practice like that. But once you get a nice rhythm, your 2 is coming before your 1 even get close to your face. So it's like, wow, pop. As you're pulling back, you're already starting at 2. Bow. And with the 2, your hips and your feet play a major part into this, okay? Not arm. So, boom, I'm gonna twist that back foot like I'm throwing a ball and turn my hips into it. So, you would think since the lead is in the front, it goes further, but it doesn't go as far as the 2 because I'm using my body to punch through the opponent, okay? Or punch through the target, boom. So that's all footwork and hips. Legs, feet, hips is very important with throwing effective power punches. Okay, so measuring. Now, if you're barely touching them with the jab, you know you got them with the 2, so you don't have to be so close. Because if I'm here, it's called I'm smothering my punches. It's not gonna be as effective, watch. If I'm back here, see? Okay. So I want y'all to practice that. So practice this. Set them up with the 1. Okay? So you do a 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. All different types of ways to do it. But the 1, 2 is a beautiful combination. A lot of things that come after the 2. Hopefully you don't need nothing to come after the 2, but I'll teach you guys that on a later episode. So once again. Knock lights out, baby. That's what's up. I hope you guys enjoyed that, this edition of Boxing for Beginners. The reason that I'm doing this series, 1, I love boxing. I mean, I love it with a passion. I love being active. I love fitness. And I just want to give you guys an alternative. Fitness is not only lifting weights. You know, so many different things you could do. Here's one of them. If you like to play basketball, baseball, whatever. I'm trying to promote you guys to be active. Why I chose boxing? Well, it was indoctrinated upon me as a young boy. My kids, my sons, I've introduced it to them and they love it as well. What do I get from it? What I think you guys can get from it? It is it's just a huge test of will, because when you're actually into it, you're combining a lot of thinking split second while your body's getting fatigued and exerting, you know, and if you're able to do that and to conquer that and to master that, man, life would be a lot easier for you, you know. So boxing, they say it's a thinking man's sport. Not just a thinking man's sport, a thinking man that's in really good shape, because it's hard to think clear and razor sharp when you're fatigued. Okay, so you got to fight that. You know, it's a constant battle, and it's a physical chess game. If anybody played chess, just think if the stakes were higher, where you can get hit and get hurt. So that's why I love it. That's why I'm going to teach you guys. And my father, at a young age, my father used to box. My father was an all-around athlete, but who he introduced me to at a young age was Muhammad Ali. I grew up watching Muhammad Ali tapes. I love Muhammad Ali. Not only was he the best boxer, pound for pound, ever, but he was a great role model because he stood for things other than himself. He didn't just think about himself. When he had that public spotlight, when he had that podium, he made sure he used it for good. He spoke about real issues, real things going on in society that we needed help with, that people needed help with. He used his celebrity, his persona to, help empower people, to give people confidence, self-esteem, to show people that, you can rise from nothing and become whoever you want to be. In the 80s, he went to, when we had the Iran-Contra whole deal, and they held those United States hostages, all of the negotiations were unsuccessful. Muhammad Ali went over there and was able to negotiate and get a lot of our POWs back. And that's amazing. A lot of people don't talk about stuff like that. I'm not here to talk about politics or wars or any of that. All I'm saying is this man is a person who, at the height of his career, was willing to leave it all, sacrifice it all for what he believed in. Whether you believe in what he believes in or not is irrelevant. The fact that somebody got that much character to say, take it all, take my freedom, kill me, but I'm not gonna do something that I don't believe in. I think that's a huge testament to the human will. That's a huge testament to people are generally good people. And I just wanna promote that kind of behavior. I wanna promote, like, me, you guys, we all have it in us. We all have it in us to be, really, really good people. Muhammad Ali is an example of that. So look into him, look into his life. Very fascinating. Look into the things that he stood up for, and to him being 100% himself at all times. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna leave y'all with a little clip that I get goosebumps from seeing it. This is after he fought George Foreman. Everybody thought that George Foreman was gonna annihilate him. He was older than him. George Foreman was a young, strong bull, probably the hardest hitting heavyweight in history. And George Foreman was assassinating. He wasn't beating, he was assassinating everybody until he got to Ali. Nobody believed that Ali can do what he did. Check this out.
Is this on close? You tell, is it live?
Right now.
Everybody stop talking now, attention. I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time when I beat Sunday Liston. I told you today, I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. Right. Then you might get me. But I didn't dance. I didn't dance for a reason. I wanted to make him lose all his power. I kept telling him he had no punch. He couldn't hit. He's swinging like a sissy. He's missing. Let me see your box. I hadn't started dancing yet. You can't say my legs are gone. You can't say I was tired, because what happened? I didn't dance from the second round on. I stayed on the ropes. When I stay on the ropes, you think I'm doing bad. But I want all boxers to put this in the page of boxing. Staying on the ropes is a beautiful thing with a heavyweight when you make him shoot his best shots and you know he's not hitting you. I would have gave George Foreman 2 rounds of steady punching, because after that he was mine. And I have a radar built inside me. I know how to judge punches. Didn't I tell all of you out there on your local radio shows, mostly black stations, I told you I'm going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see. So that's what happened.
That's what you said to me. But tell me now, are you really going to retire, Muhammad?
I'm seriously thinking about retiring. There's nothing else for me to fight. I told her, well, I'm going to retire. I'm going to hold the title for a few months. They took my title unjustly. I told you, I'm the real champion. I told you, I'm the champion of the world. All of you bow. All of my critics crawl. All of you suckers who write the Ring magazine, Boxing Illustrated, all of you suckers bow, because the stage was set. You made him great. You made him a bad Joe Louis. You made him a hard puncher. But I want everybody from this moment on to recognize me as the scholar of boxing.